This is Sal with Geoffrey Moore again. And what are we going to do now? This is an unfamiliar environment for me. What's going on here? What is this?
So we're in a word processor because we're going to talk about words.
Word processor.
Yes.
Fascinating.
What word processor are we in, by the way?
This is Google Docs or
Okay.
Google Drive, I think it's now called. Everyone could use this if they have
All
a
right.
Google account.
Okay. All right. So if you're going to write, you're going to actually write on a keyboard. So we thought, okay, let's get out of this handwritten stuff and let's get into a real keyboarding world. So I thought today we're going to talk about nouns.
All right, nouns. I remember that.
Okay, so nouns is actually a grammatical term. The really key idea behind nouns is naming things.
Grammatical term, like subject, predicate, all these crazy things that
Exactly.
you remember from grade school.
Adverbs, conjunctions.
But nouns are about naming things. You're taking a strong stand against my entire education.
Yes.
And actually naming a noun in a more understandable way by calling it something that names things.
Exactly. And the power of a noun is, so why would I need a new noun? So if I had the word dog, why do I need the word cat? Right. And the answer is because cats don't come when you call. Dogs do.
Right. There's a difference between...
So now I need the words dog and cat. So do I need the word cocker spaniel? Well, maybe not. If I'm just a dog owner, but if I'm a pet store owner, I need the word cocker spaniel.
I'm not typing cocker spaniel because actually
you wouldn't know how to spell it.
Well,
cocker spaniel, sort of like Spanish only with an L.
Yeah. Okay, the spaniel part is the easy part. I thought maybe cocker had an H in there someplace.
No, you're doing good.
Cocker spaniel.
So
is it capitalized?
Yeah, you did good.
Yeah,
you did good.
We haven't gotten to that yet.
But you're getting hung up on grammar, which everybody does.
I shouldn't have capitalized dog and cat though.
So right, but you're
I'm getting hung up on grammar.
You are getting hung up on grammar
because I want to be a member of the ruling class.
Exactly. So
or at least look like I am.
What's funny? This is how people can put roadblocks in their writing because they worry about grammar before they worry about logic. I want to talk about the logic, which is why does people care about a cocker spaniel? Well, a pet store guy does because you might know people come in and they specifically want to buy a breed of dog, and so and cocker spaniel has certain attributes.
It gives you precision.
It does. And what you notice about people is when they have an area of expertise, they have lots and lots and lots of precise nouns in that area. Sometimes we call it jargon.
Yes.
Okay, so jargon is just a bunch of nouns for specialists.
And jargon itself is a noun.
Jargon
look
itself.
At that.
There it is. And
it all comes back.
No, and what's interesting about this, so look at the word jargon. Why do you need the word jargon? Because it gives you power over the world. It lets you identify a class of language and say, you know what? That language I don't need to understand. Those specialists need to understand it because they're nerds in that subject, but I don't need to.
Or maybe I should, but I'm also going to tell them to stop using it.
Well,
because they're preventing other people from understanding.
And the issue with jargon is jargon doesn't prevent specialists from understanding each other. In fact, it probably helps specialists, but it prevents generalists.
Because it can get to precision faster.
Exactly. So when you hang out in Silicon Valley with all these software people and they're always using three-letter acronyms, and you're going, well, what's CRM, SPT, whatever it is?
Yes.
It's like, okay. But they know what they're talking about. So that's all I would want to say about nouns is, look, you want to know a bunch of general nouns to sort of work your way through the world. So there's a set of vocabulary you just have to know to be a citizen. Mm-hmm. And then whatever you're passionate about, you should expect to get more and more nouns in that area because they're going to teach you the refined distinctions that make that area interesting and make you more powerful in that specialized area.
What I think would be a fun way to end this is to just list a bunch of nouns.
Okay.
And maybe things that are not nouns.
Okay. All right. So you want to just brainstorm? And
Let's brainstorm.
Go ahead. You go. You go first.
All right. Chuck Norris is a noun.
Chuck Norris. Yes, Chuck Norris is
Some would argue he's maybe a verb and a noun.
Well,
and an adjective. But he's definitely a noun.
This is a noun. And basically, what you're doing, though, is you're saying he's a body of forces.
He is.
The interesting thing about nouns is they always represent a body of forces. That's why we care about them. So, water has the property of cooling, and tables have the property of holding things up, and cups keep waters on tables. And, nouns help you model how the world works. And so if you don't have enough nouns, you might not know how it works. But after a while, you don't need more nouns unless you've seen some new property in the world that you're trying to name.
Love.
Okay, so now love is an abstract. Now that's one of those ones where it's not a concrete noun. You can't hold it. It's not a person, place, or thing.
Yes.
I mean, I guess you could call it a thing, but it's a relationship,
yes.
But it's powerful. And if you don't understand love, you have trouble, when you go home at night. So
Yes.
irony. Okay. Ooh. So irony is an interesting word. So irony is. But now, who needs to know the word irony?
Which I think it's Alanis Morissette. Isn't it ironic? But most of her song is isn't it unfortunate?
Oh, wait, I don't
the guy
know.
who's never ridden on a plane and the plane goes. That's unfortunate. That wasn't so ironic.
That wasn't ironic.
I guess there's a little bit of irony there.
Well, but there's kind of there's sort of irony at one level is two perspectives which don't link up. But irony as a concept is I would argue, is a specialist word. Most people probably don't need the word irony, but a literary critic could not live without it.
Yeah.
And so again, it's what are you interested in? If you're interested in hockey, you'll get that, or soccer or golf. I'll do golf because I love golf. So you need to know things about like a high fade. Well, what's a high fade? Well, it's a shot in golf, or a flop shot, or what's a lob wedge, or that kind of stuff.
And I threw swimming and golfing there because those sound like an action.
They are, but when you talk about the action itself, you can you're naming the action. So swimming is good for you. I want to take swimming. Well, swimming lessons. It's modifying the word lessons, but language is a very
swimming is sometimes a noun.
Language is a very, very mutable thing. Words can be verbs, modifiers, nouns. And it's amazing when you try to teach a computer these rules, we still can't do it.
Yeah.
But kids learn it before they're
Love
5.
is sometimes a noun.
Yes, sometimes a noun, sometimes a verb. Exactly. And when you're talking about it as a noun, it means you're talking about the force of love.
Yeah.
When you're using it as a verb, you're talking about your relationship, being in a relationship of love to another person. So verbs connect nouns to each other. So John loves Mary, right?
Yes.
So now we used a verb to connect two nouns together.
I'm also listing not nouns.
Not nouns. Yeah. So eat, run.
Lovely.
So and basically, what you're going to find with the not nouns, there's going to be 3 other classes, but all the action stuff, then all the modifier stuff. So lovely is a modifier.
Yeah.
It's telling you Jane is lovely, or it's a lovely day out.
So these are eat and run are actions.
That's right.
If we were to use the grammatical fancy words,
Yep.
verbs.
Yep. Absolutely.
Lovely is a modifier.
Right.
So it could be. If it's modifying, if it's describing a noun, it would be an adjective.
That's right.
If it's describing a verb, it would be an adverb.
Right.
See, I learned.
Those are good, but that's the grammatical ideas.
Yeah, I don't want to. Okay.
Those are
I gotta
grammatical
get out of my whole
ideas.
ruling class insecurity.
Well, that's the difference between semantics and syntax. Is sometimes the words used, but from a meaning point of view, and you need modifiers only to the degree that you want to be more precise about what's going on in the world, or you want to be more rhetorical. You want to actually create a bond with your audience by using a modifier to connect with them emotionally. Those are the 2 classic reasons to use. Float is a verb. It describes an attribute of ivory soap that is not an attribute of dial soap.
I think you're dating people because I barely remember those guys. That was apparently their biggest claim to fame is that the soap floats.
It soap floats.
It's amazing that marketers determined that people would buy soap based on the fact that it floats.
I think actually they found out I think what happens, they probably did focus groups to say, the cool thing about this soap is it floats.
Which to me tells me they put air in it, which means I'm getting less soap, but I don't know.
But see, you're big, now you're going the wrong way.
That's too much logic.
That's too much logic and not
enough
rhetoric. Exactly.
Yes,
that's exactly true.
Yeah.
So born, okay, so again, born is an action. It's also, you can use it as a modifier. I was born in Portland, Oregon, so that tells me stuff like that.
He was born. Yeah, that would be modified. He was. It's a state.
Yes. It's an intransitive verb. It's a state. I mean, this is where the grammatical categories get very confusing and very complex. I actually don't like teaching grammar until people are well into their writing world, because it really doesn't help.
Right.
What does help is these 4 ideas. Name things. That's the noun-like stuff. Talk about actions and relationships. That's the verb-like stuff. Be more precise about either one of those. That's the modifier stuff. And the 4th one we haven't talked about is words like and, but, although, when. They're called conjunctions, and that's about how do you link.
I'll write them here because we're
things
just
together.
saying not nouns. We're throwing everything in this bucket right now.
So I put in and, when,
but, when, although.
Exactly.
Yes.
Cool ways of talking about how 2 ideas relate to each other. Heretofore, therefore, moreover.
I can't even,
And then one thing, there's one class of grammar people should just know about, all the prepositions, in, out, above, around, whatever. It turns out that they're always used in a modifying way. So you never use in by itself. It's like the boy in the car. And in the car just tells you more precisely something about the boy.
Into.
Yeah, exactly. Above, around, of. Yeah. No. Us can act. Us actually a little. Us a little grammatical blurb.
But it's not a noun.
No, it's actually a form of modifier.
But it's not a noun.
No, it's
so
not.
I can put it there.
Yeah, that's true. It's not a noun.
No, that's all we're talking about
I'm sorry.
now.
You're right. You're
It's just not a noun.
You're totally right.
Very cool. Well, this was fun. We should do more of these.
I like these.